The following podcast may contain spoilers.
Hey everybody. It's time for it's time for another episode of Reading the Path of Heaven. I am your host, as always, Jonathan Kenny, here with my fellow hosts.
I'm Richard, the Korean guy.
I'm Bill. I just read things.
I'm Seth. I don't read.
Our self-proclaimed perennial guest.
Always seems to be the case.
You've been reading lately. I've been seeing you reading.
Hey, don't tell anybody, man.
Oh man.
He's got an image to uphold.
I am reading on the sly, and I don't appreciate you broadcasting it on a podcast like some kind of asshole.
What do you think he is? A nerd?
But
Well, I guess we'll just have to be excited about that later then.
uh-huh.
But today we are talking about a Japanese light novel by the name of Kumo Desu Ga, Nani Ka.
What's that mean, Mr. Guy that speaks Japanese, kinda?
I mean, like,
No offense.
roughly it's like
I'm a spider.
yeah, so I'm a spider. Like, what now?
What not? What's up? What do you give?
So I'm a spider?
So I'm a spider. What's up?
What
All right.
is
You know?
what is vaguely into the ether?
Nani Ka?
And it tells the story of see, I really enjoy this. I'm gonna give you a couple things. One couple spoilers, because this is one of those novels that, like an M. Night Shyamalan movie, there's gonna be a twist, except there's like way too many reveals in this.
This
all
book
twists.
is just like this
Way
book is all
too
twists.
much real world building and twists and
It's like an MC Escher
machinations.
pretzel.
Your puppet is a puppet who's behind the scenes being a puppet.
Yeah, no, I got
Puppets
told
can't puppeteer. That's real hard.
Oh, puppets are puppeteering.
I got told about the story and I'm like, oh, I got the big reveal, so I guess I'll just go look up some stuff about it. And then there was like 8 more reveals. Like I had just learned the like first surface one. I'm like, man, I just ruined the story for
Yes,
myself.
you did.
You
But-
told him to do it. Don't you laugh at that,
Yeah,
man.
because
Oh,
he-
no,
I mean,
go
like-
look at the TV tropes.
Well, I
heard
mean, like
it.
the Band-Aid was ripped off at that point.
The reason being is because he came to the big problem that a lot of people have reading this web novel.
Just at the beginning, translation is
The
real
translations are really bad. So this thing has jumped between hands and translation a couple times here.
Yeah, as I understand it,
Translation.
like today, the current translations are actually like really excellent.
Really
It's
good.
like sign
Yeah,
language.
like super great.
Translation.
But at the beginning, it's real bad. And I took like a couple of years of Japanese in college, and I had a really good teacher, so a good bit of it got drilled into my head, and I've forgotten 90% of it and whatnot. But
I have learned all of my Japanese from anime.
I do kind of understand
No.
like sentence structure and grammar and what kind of endings usually lead to what kind of translations.
Yeah.
So when I read this original translation, which I think at the beginning was pretty much very obviously machine
It's
translated,
machine translated, yeah.
it's like I read it and then I translate the English that I see into Japanese and then I retranslate it into English and I'm like, that's not good.
Like, see, at first it was like, okay, this is machine translation. It's not as bad as machine translation could be, because
like
you got to
just
realize,
straight machine translation.
like, I started reading stuff because there was like things I was really interested in this was before novel translation really kicked off. So I'm reading like machine translations of Tensei Shitara Slime Ken, machine translations of Remonster, and then I'm going in and then I'm basically rewriting this into English for myself so I can read this, because I know what they're trying to get at this here. So I'm just gonna make my own stuff and keep going.
Yeah.
I do wish to point out, we have talked about Tate no Yusha, which is another Japanese light novel that I was reading with that Richard has read. The reason I stopped reading was this very, like, I don't know, 2/3 of the way through the book, it just
It imploded.
the quality just went through the floor and out the other side.
Because at that point with the web novel, they were switching from one translator, and there was a deficit where like the fans were like, "No, I need more of this crack." And
I get it, man. I've been a member of the F5 sect. Like I get it. For a while before somebody started retranslating the Legendary Moonlight Sculptor chapters, like I started reading the machine translations and I'm like, all right, like one book ago this was called Gigalots and now it's like And I'm like, whoa. And I don't say that in the sense of me trying to like I can't pronounce Korean. I say that in the sense of like it was literal nonsense syllables.
Or you get the little like symbols, like squares and triangles for no reason in the middle of words.
Oh yeah. They didn't even bother formatting and or phrasing
The
it so it's
Unicode
readable.
symbols. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, like,
no.
I get it. It happens sometimes. Every so often, I'll be reading one of my new stories, and like a chapter will come by, and like an entire line will just still be in Chinese,
Yeah.
and I'll be like,
This will get through.
All right. Well, I mean, I see what this sentence is saying, and this sentence is describing
get the
something.
gist.
So I
I got
can
it.
extrapolate, but
What if that one symbol is really important? But
who knows,
It'll
man?
come
Which
up
I shall
later.
seal the heavens. Like, hell, it's probably a clue for something 800 chapters from now.
Or it could just be another legacy you picked up, you know.
But so it started with turbo translations, and the reason why I got into Kumo Desu Ga because Nani Ka was because I was really into Tensei Shitara Slimed Out of Cannon. I'm like, I need something like this. And I'm like, you should read this.
What's that other thing you keep saying? You said it twice
It's
now.
about this dude who dies and reincarnates as slime. We're gonna talk about this at another episode. It's a fun isekai.
Yeah, actually, the Kumo Desu Ga and that one were the two Japanese light novels that my friend that got me into.
They're good.
Yeah, he's the one that got me into Shinsha
Like, and they-
originally, and like those were the two that he were recommending that I read.
Like, okay, so Kumo Desu Ga is great because of the world building, the great characters. They really like imbue characters to your heart in this. The thing is, it's hard to get into because the initial translation from Turbo Translations wasn't great, and then it just stopped. And then Raising the Dead came around, which is this like translation group that does translation for a bunch of stuff,
I
right?
like those. I like
And
groups.
they pick up stuff that has been failed or had died and raises it.
Oh, I love it so much.
And Risen of the Dead was founded by a man by the name of, I hope I'm saying his name right, Cyrogen. And he's a guy who apparently wanted to learn Japanese he was in Australia, wanted to learn Japanese so he could translate anime, realized he
Noble
couldn't
goal.
do it. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to do this other stuff. All right. And then he built there's a bunch of stuff on there that other people translate are part of his group. And the translators for Kumo Desu Ga after Turbo Translations, stopped
the series,
and Raising the Dead picked it up are Soul Power and Pund are the two main translators for Kumo Desu Ga.
Sure.
There's a lot of content with this, and it's all really good. And it's so good. It has a manga going on, which is a little different, and it is a little different. And it has a light novel as well now. I've been reading the original web novel that's still going, it's still being written.
So all the other things are just adaptations of the
Of
core
the web novel.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I have the question of why haven't they gone back and redone the initial Turbo translations?
Because it's still coming out. So I guess they just don't have the time, or maybe
They're just like, forge ahead. We'll get back to it when we have to.
You can, like,
I don't
it's
know.
readable. It's not.
I feel like
hit it.
It is readable. Like, the issue is not that it's not doable, and like the person clearly went back and touched it. Like, people in the comments have gone through and been like, I think this would be a better translation of this, and like he's gone back and edited it and given credit for that in a lot of the places. Like, work went into it. It's clear there's a lot of love in it.
But
So like I think part of it is just because like he can see that and he's trying not to step on toes.
and it loses some of the charm. Like you have to have been used to reading. Like, if you came from me where you read the worst of machine translations, like Remonster and read Kumo Desu Ga, even the beginning is like, this is easily readable. This is free. But you've been spoiled. You've been novel translation is in a golden age.
Yes.
Translations
It's
are
wonderful.
better and better. We have people like Rainbow Turtle and Ren and people just killing it.
Yeah.
But there was a point where this has been translated. Wow.
I remember back when
know?
Haruhi was popular. Like I found out like, oh wait, these come from books. Oh shit, I want to read that, but like no one had translated them at
Yeah.
that point. So it was killing me at that point. And then one day I found out that people are actually actively translating this, and I'm like, thank God, finally someone's doing God's work.
All we had was machine translations for the longest.
Just to clarify for Seth, the melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya.
Ooh, thank you. I did need that clarification.
It's crazy that that's considered old now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it
It's a
is like even
classic.
going back and looking back at it, like it's just like digital animation was at a different point.
Yeah.
Like voice acting was at a different point. Japanese like straight man humor was at a different point.
Yeah. But
I still love that show though.
I love Kumo Desu Ga. It's always gonna have a special place in my heart. And let me start with the situation, okay?
We're like 10 minutes in and no one's hit the premise yet.
I'm gonna spoil it a little bit here.
All right.
I have to let you know I had to give a lead up to this. I'm gonna spoil it just a little bit.
Do you want this to be the quote unquote first unofficial nights and just go full hard on it?
Nah,
No, there's way too much to spoil in this book.
There's too much to spoil, and we'll be talking for days. Because it's not short. It's not short. There's side stories that are all important,
And you have expressed it's still going.
and it's still going.
Wait, so there's just like separate chapters?
It is. It's not considered in the normal numerology of the
Oh, so like it
of the story.
branches.
So
at
it's just
times.
like this is a side story.
Yeah, like
But
every
it's all
like
important,
every like 10 or so chapters it'll be like side story 1.
or from a different person. So
Yeah, now-
that died
now-
and reincarnated here, or
Now that I know the twists, I kind of am starting to see the picture of why the hell those are so important. It's crazy.
So like more like an extrapolation of how Dungeon Defense was told.
kinda
Where it would just like go off.
different time periods. You don't know, like you can't judge based on the character you're following what time period this is happening and what the effect is. And you'll see situations from multiple different paths replayed where you only get a certain part, and because almost all of the narrators in each chapter is unreliable.
I say.
I love an unreliable narrator.
Because
I'm
people
sure I've
are
said
literally
this.
being driven crazy in this.
Yeah, it's not like a super friendly world, and people are literally just dropped in like, cool, figure out what's going on, have fun.
So in this world, all right,
There's no tutorial in this
there's
world.
demons and there's humans, and there's two sides as we know it right now. And the demon lord
Sure,
and the hero
sure,
work together
sure.
via machinations of something or someone
Uh-huh.
to get revenge
All
on a
right.
certain evil god.
How evil?
I mean, that depends on who's looking at it.
Continue.
Because again, everything is gray morality here.
Twists.
To get revenge for what they did to the system. So
The
they
system.
made a spell. System's very important. We'll get back to that.
It's
They
true.
made a spell.
Yeah.
And they launched it outside of their dimension outside of their world towards where the evil guard is. Now, during this period, you flash to a point where you have what we believe is the main character living life, playing games, being a girl in Japan.
Being a super hikiko neat.
Yep.
Or
And
Kiki.
they're in the class, and it's jumping between all the viewpoints of all the students there, the whole class, including the teacher. And then suddenly, they're all dead.
Oh wait, hold on. Is this like Bakano? Do we have main character ish?
There's a lot.
Yeah, a
of
lot
main
of characters
characters.
are main character-ish.
There's a lot of main characters.
But yeah, like that's
the
just
main
like
one is
a
Kumiko, or a different name that I can't say because of spoilers.
All right.
yeah, no, it sure would be.
Get them crinkle tingles.
Yeah,
in.
like literally we open up on like a live spider birth, and there's like a billion, like hundreds of
Hundreds of
spiders.
thousands of spiders born
crawling.
from a giant spider mom, right? Giant Queen Terratect.
It's cool, Bill. It immediately moves
It-
into making less spiders.
Oh yeah,
Okay. They should have dialed it back on the spiders.
And then she's like, you see the characters who it's like, what's going on? Where am I? And then you look up and see a giant spider, and then you see other tiny baby pig-sized spiders and a spider the size of like a building
Yeah.
start to eat the baby spiders like popcorn.
Because yeah, the mom mouse spider just immediately starts eating the babies. The
No.
babies also start eating each other.
I am
and like
with
main
Bill.
characters
I am
like
out.
main characters like, oh yeah, so was the main character. She's like, no,
Yo,
fuck this.
fuck
This
this.
is terrible.
Run.
Run. And then
Yeah,
at a certain
as
point,
any
she's like, wait a
logical person
second,
would.
I don't have legs and hands. I seem to have 8 spider legs.
What the fuck is going on? She's literally having a freak out.
Oh, she's a
As
spider
could be
now.
expected, because you know her brothers and sisters are now trying to eat her.
all I'm saying is like she should have read more. It's like
So-
if she'd have read Kumo Desu Ga, she'd have understood it was
No,
going on.
honestly, she's surprisingly genre
knows-
savvy.
No, like this is there's great references. Like there's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure references. There's Naruto reference. It's great.
Yeah,
It's
actually,
great.
it is, and I love those things. And it's actually one of the things that makes me the most sad about the translation is like there's so much obvious like charm and like love in the writing that is just not coming through because of the translation.
Yeah, it gets better. Even Turbo translation gets better.
And I'm starting to get there. I think I actually got like 26 chapters in before I read a bunch of spoilers for the episode.
Like you get to see the survival from the viewpoint of Kumiko, all right?
Sure.
And that's the name we have. That's not the name she said. She never introduced herself as having a name.
She's just
the main
Spider-Girl.
character, but she's Spider-Chan. She's just cute little spider, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, she's not cute. She's actually terrifying. Don't let the manga confuse you where there's a pink spider running out. No, she starts off like this dirt brown recluse looking motherfucker. Her first move is like Poison Fang.
Yeah, she immediately like runs out and she's like, all right, maybe I'm just like a tiny spider and everything's gonna be big. And then she like finds a footprint. She's like, nope, shit, I'm like 2 meters big.
And like she feels bad because she runs into these things, and you can see her mentality rationalizing the action she's taking. Because another thing this thing touches on is that sin isn't bad, pride isn't bad, because it's one thing living to survive,
Sure.
but living without pride is worse than being dead. You don't want to just survive. And it's a character dealing with discovery of who they actually are and what they're led to believe while being a pawn. Like, the main character wasn't supposed to live, but keeps living.
I like it. Scrappy is my kind of person.
No, it's great. Like, because she definitely lives up to her spider form. Like, her fighting style is always like lay traps, fight when things are completely immobilized, only fight when necessary.
Oh yeah, she builds a viewpoint where it's like, if you're stronger than me, I'm running the fuck away. But if you're weaker than me, you deserve to die.
Also, she gets hungry a lot.
Oh yeah, she gets very hungry. But it's cool because she is a reincarnator in this world, and reincarnators have a gift. All right, all of the reincarnators in this world are given a gift. Stupid amounts of skill points, which there's a reason for that. Not even a gift, actually, and an ability called, what is it? I percentage equals W. It's a cool ability that every time they level up, it regenerates everything in their bodies, stops them from dying.
Nice.
No one else in this world has that. It was a gift from the evil god D.
Yep.
It's always the D.
It's the Willa D, guys.
Like D, like the
D,
bird,
like
or
the
like-
number, like the letter D,
The number
Okay.
D.
like
Yeah.
the letter D. Or
What's
as
that,
some people, I can't spoil that. That's another spoiler.
man.
Yeah, like
Somebody's gonna get that joke I made one day.
It is really difficult to talk about this book without talking about spoilers, but it is like, even just talking about the beginning part, like I said, I talked about the first 26 chapters, and like I'm definitely going to continue reading this story. Like it's even with the translation issues, it's very interesting. Like getting to journey through and experiencing her journey of understanding the way the skills works, and like very, very quickly beginning to strip her moral code.
Yeah.
Like she starts becoming a spider and stops being a human very quickly.
The main character that you're with for a long period of time is basically immoral. She's basically amoral.
Okay.
Not
Not like a bad person, but like I don't give a fuck about anything in any regard.
She cares about what she wants to care about, whether you consider it good or bad either. And it shows another thing they teach in this story is that just because what you're thinking, doing something that you think is a good thing or overly kind or overly heroic causes more trouble in the future. You trying to save someone or sparing the wrong person causes more death down the line, and characters that are capable of evaluating this having to both commit these sins to save the greater good.
But like have the duty to do so because they can recognize it.
They have the duty to do so because they have the power to.
Yeah.
That's one thing about this. But as I was saying, another thing the reincarnators get besides that cool thing that lets them regenerate.
I percentage equals W, whatever.
Yeah. You get to learn the system as you read it, because suddenly these weird things you see in the story that are the system speaking with some of the characters.
Sure.
You begin to understand what's going on.
Well, she also blows all her original gifted skill points on appraise.
Oh yeah, there's one of those things you're not supposed to do because it one fucks up your brain, and two if you don't have the resistances and the mental fortitude to handle it, she gets another move called detection. Which is ultimately you can sense everything with your mind. Everything.
Yeah,
sound waves, radio frequencies, see every type of
So you're like a
light vision, everything.
So you're a range psychometer.
Pretty much. She turns it on and starts taking like soul damage. Her soul starts dying. Her brain is horrific pain. She doesn't have the ability to do it.
I believe it. This book does not portray her as having a large advantage. She's always winning by the slightest margin.
And like her bonus she gets for being born, because everyone gets a special unique trait or advanced ability that resonates with their soul.
Sure.
She got something called Idaten, Idaten, Idaten or Idaten or whatever, which increases her speed. So like her stats are shit when she's born.
Sure.
But her speed is like 300.
That's pretty fast.
Like 10 times faster than her regular stats because that was her gift. But keep in mind, we see this struggle where she almost dies. She loses body parts and moving around one leg, setting up traps. He even show up, burn her traps, like struggling through life like a mook. She's a mook creature.
Yeah.
She's what people kill for their first adventure.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know what? Like, I thought about this randomly. It feels like if you were playing a monster and don't starve.
And you have to go kill the main character.
No, you not even kill the main character. It literally same rules. Like, just don't starve, except you like don't have any of the tools. You don't have any. You're just literally a spider.
None of the advantages that everyone else in her class has. Because we switched to a side story of the birth of this kid named Shun, who was reborn in this world as the son of the king of one of the largest countries.
Yeah, he just
and his stats are ridiculous. And his bonus is something called, what is it? The touch of heaven or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Something of heaven. That means if he tries anything, he has a highest probability of succeeding.
Ridiculous.
Oh, so a super skill monkey.
Super skill monkey, born with a ridiculous amount of stats.
And luck, apparently.
And luck.
Help me visualize the system. How do you spend skill points? Is it like a screen in front of you?
They don't really give you much information
To you.
Yeah, honestly,
they made it as hard as possible.
It's kind of like a mud that gives you a HUD. Like, you just kind of like say shit, and if it's an acceptable command, it works, and if it's not, it just ignores you.
It'd be like, yo, is an immortality a thing? Yes. How many skill points does it cost? More than I can hope to attain.
I see. So it's like a chat, like a
chat bot.
Yeah, not chat bot. But
Yeah, it's like she has like a HUD that like develops more as she uses a phrase more.
Because she gets a praise more because she's crazy. You gotta realize Kumiko is so desperate to live that she tries things people in the normal world don't do. Like appraise as a skill is something no one blows skill points on. No one ever. The reason being is you can make an item that'll do that and doesn't create horrific nosebleeds and brain damage trying to use.
Yep. It's great because like she's just gotten to the point where she could start getting like levels and stuff. She's like, appraise failed, like, and she had leveled up, so she didn't know that she could get new information now. So she's just sitting there like, appraise failed? What the fuck does that mean?
Like there's a point where like she appraises a rock. She keeps doing it. And the point she discovers how to abuse the system where she's like, man, I'm weak to fire, so I can't even go there or I die because I take damage over time being in this area. I'm gonna start walking over there. She finally got regeneration, by the way, from being almost dead so many times as a skill.
She constantly gets close to dying.
So she was like, I'm gonna abuse this regeneration. I'm gonna go to lava, stick my arm in lava, burn it the fuck off, live, walk by, cast fire on myself to build fire resistance, horrific pain. And then there's just like this is a runoff story. There's this mage called Renat, who's considered one of the strongest humans to have ever been born.
Sure.
Old man, greatest mage. This is before he became the old unstoppable dude. He sees this amazing demon god of a spider doing shit, burning itself, doing acid, doing multiple spells.
She does acid?
Yeah, man. That spider party.
Yeah, no, it gets acid resistance real early when it eats all sorts of poisonous frogs and shit.
She splits her personalities. That's another thing she does. So she has like a a thing she calls body in charge, which just controls the movement of her body. One called she has two flavors called magic in charge. One doing this magic, one doing this mage. She starts building up the stat called parallel will, which keeps every time you level it, it splits your personality again.
Shit.
The downside of parallel will, and while they tell the kids that reincarnated as humans in good places, don't take the skill unless you're mentally prepared for it. Because if you keep doing it, it'll rupture your soul and you won't even die and reincarnate and go to the system. No, you just stop existing.
Yeah, man, you break your soul. What the fuck are you gonna do?
Yeah, because like
Then you just
there
become
is
immortal.
reincarnation in this world. Like,
Yeah.
so like if you die, you come back like different. Like, I don't think you keep your memories. I don't. Some depending on the situation.
Most people don't.
Oh, some people don't drink from Grandma Mung's cup.
Yeah, that guy's pretty broke.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's a pretty interesting series. I've been enjoying it thus far.
If you ever wanted to see,
and now that I kind of
the beginning, if you ever wanted to see a spider or a mook creature try to survive, the beginning, this book gets kind of gnarly. Bad things happen to Kumiko for no reason.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Sounds like
She'll be in a situation that she's mastered like 20 times, and then suddenly like she'll be like, "Ha, I'm used to this," and then the frog will suddenly spit poison, which it's never done before, and like nearly kill her. And like melt the net, and so then it's not immobilized anymore. And she's like, "Oh God, I don't know what to do now. I have to actually fight now."
Because she's a glass cannon in the beginning. She can't regenerate. She doesn't have the ability to regenerate outside of that passive skill that was given to her by D.
sure.
She has to level up. Because her because her race is so shitty. By the way, this is everything, including humans. You get to the max level of your specific race or creature type, you can evolve. You can even choose your evolutions. Humans have it too, level 100, but no one's ever done it, as far as most people know. But her initial lesser Terratech race species, so shitty, she falls to level 10. And you go back to level 1.
Womp
With more potential.
With a better
But you
temp.
keep all your skills from before you evolve.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
she's
but-
playing Disgaea.
Yeah, basically, yeah. She uses the one shared power of all good Japanese light novels these days, the ability to leverage Anit's ability to find exploits.
Oh, she breaks Disgaea.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, no, that's basically it. It's like that's how she survives, is she finds the cheat exploits to level her skills up and makes good skill decisions.
And there's so much stuff I can't talk to you about the system that'll spoil things, but there's one thing I'm going to touch on. There's a stat that appears in the story when things starts to escalate called taboo.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
And once you get taboo to level 10, some shit goes down. Some shit that is plot defining, because when you max out taboo, it reveals secrets of the world that you're not supposed to know.
Oh,
That's cool.
are we talking like Lovecraftian? Not supposed to know.
Oh
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much, yes.
Mm.
Yeah. And then suddenly the stakes of the story escalate rather large. And
I like large stakes.
but during this
So does
16 ounce
Kumiko,
or
but she
more.
only eats disgusting poisonous
yeah,
things.
yeah. She doesn't even know. She fantasizes about good food she used to eat back in the Gap.
Give me one of them
Someone give me
24
just a
ounces.
bowl of rice.
How's a spider gonna eat rice anyway?
I don't think that's really the issue that concerns me.
Oh yeah, learning how to eat things. Like there was a point where she didn't want to eat at the beginning. She's like, "What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to just bite into this and drink it?"
Ew.
Oh, it's terrible.
Oh, this
it
tastes terrible.
burns. Oh, it's killing me. The food is killing me.
Acid resistance gained, level 1.
Well, food I guess is not killing me, or is.
And
No, it still was.
Yeah.
Still painful, still
And-
horrible, but hey,
and you see,
I'm
like,
not so horribly hungry now.
She is like, I have 10 HP. I ate. I'm at 5 HP. I'm not leveled yet. I have no regeneration. If I get looked at wrong, I will die.
Time to set up my home here at the crossroads.
Ooh,
Bad
home time.
Sims game. Jeez.
Yeah, no, it's just like it's a real rough world for her, and it's a real rough world in general. But like there are reasons behind it, and that's what's making it pretty good.
And then there's stuff going on. There's politics they have to deal with. There's one character in this that is reborn. He was a boy who was best friend, one of the closest friends of Shun, right?
Sure.
The guy who was reborn as the son of the
son
king.
of the king, yeah.
And his big brother is the hero, by the way. At this point, he's reborn. But
wait, the kid's big brother or the son of the other son of the king?
The son of the king. The son of the king. His big brother.
Like
in this
the
world,
previous life?
born into this life.
Got it. Okay.
Like he's born into his big brother as he's born into his life.
Gotcha.
Is the hero, but
got it.
What his friend is reborn in this world as a girl named Katya, and she's also a noble. And it's interesting because at first, this by the way, is one of my favorite story arcs here. He was reborn as a woman because it's what his soul wanted to be, and he couldn't accept it because throughout the whole story, he tries to identify as a boy until some shit goes down, life's in danger, and he realizes this whole time he's had a crush on Shun in the previous world, and he was forcing himself to like the prettiest girl in school, and he couldn't accept it. So
that
he
is
actually
some good character
accepts himself as a woman because he's been a woman longer in this world than he was a boy alive in the other world.
Goddamn.
It's just cool shit going on, and drama behind drama, and characters growing, terrible things happening to characters, people becoming mother figures becoming daughters, crazy shit.
Puppets on strings.
Puppets and strings. Basically, if you can get past,
it's very graphic visuals.
Oh yeah, it's graphic as fuck.
So my question now is, how do you think you could turn this into an actual marketable video game themed around Kumo Desu Ga?
You easily could. But the thing is, let me phrase that. You could until it goes full Neon Genesis Evangelion. And then you can't anymore. The beginning of Evangelion, totally it could be a video game. The middle of Evangelion can no longer be a video game.
It becomes a movie halfway through.
I don't know, man. I think we could pull some Metal Gear Solid, like you have to plug the controller into the second slot.
Yeah.
Like maybe if we pull some of that kind of stuff, we could maybe do the second half of Neon Genesis Evangelion. Like,
wait, hold on.
Kojima would have to do it. Kojima would have to.
You gotta have the motion capture on yourself, and you have to do some like drugs and put yourself in a stasis capsule.
No, what about VR?
Could I play some other characters?
Yeah,
playing as Kumiko in the beginning is like
that's
hell mode plus.
Yeah. No. There's a story mode where you just play through the story of Kumo Desu Ga at like from the viewpoint of the characters going through tasks they have to go through, like first person. Like I'm a spider, I have to do spider things. I have to be over here, or like
sounds like a really bad Steam game I played once.
Oh, okay. but the there's like an outside mode where you just get like a reincarnator mode. You press it, suddenly you're reincarnated. You have a template, like it reincarnated you.
Yeah.
So like you have like procedurally generated like things you could be.
You ever play that game Everything? You could be everything in everything. That seems like that'd be a really good approach to this game. The ability to be like wandering through and be like, I wonder what this game would be like from that guy's viewpoint, and then just bloop, you're in there.
Oh my god, no,
with
guys!
That setup.
Super Mario Odyssey. You just throw a hat around, and just be different.
If you could throw a hat to be someone else in this story, you wouldn't want to be Kumiko.
That's true.
Until later, then you definitely want to be her.
Yeah, but like without going through all the shit,
she earned that.
Yeah.
There's a point where Kumiko, some shit goes down. I'm gonna skip forward. This is a slight spoiler. She meets
spoilers.
The reborn, like the baby version of another reincarnator. She meets a baby version of it, and she begins to like raise it, and teaching this baby version the way Kumiko came up, which turned this baby reincarnator into a monster.
Yeah,
like as much of a monster as Kumiko is, or was, as much of a monster as all these people were, because you were willing to do this. Like, the baby needs to eat. We're going to put some poison in this baby's food to build poison resistance.
Yeah, that's how I did it.
We're going to make this baby walk barefoot with us. Don't carry her. Walk.
It's Killua. It's Killua from Hunter x Hunter.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
They just raised a monster.
But it's really good, and I'm going to make this forecast here because of the isekai craze in Japan for anime. this is gonna be, and this like I was right about Tate no Yusha.
Yeah.
This is gonna be an anime.
He has predicted the future
And
once.
I'm
He will
gonna
predict it
read
again.
I'm gonna watch it. I hope like Wit Studio or Mappa somebody picks it up because it deserves better. It deserves the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I
No,
hope
this
that,
is definitely a story that like it definitely has a very Japanese feel. Like they could tell. Like I would love to see this as an anime. It could be told very well.
Yeah.
no, I hope it get like David Productions, like it gets its own studio just for it, dedicated, 100%.
You know, if it sells well, I hope it does.
Yeah, I would love to see some studios open in Japan that are just making just anime of like Chinese and Korean story translated stories.
That'd be great.
That'd be
good
great.
times.
King's Avatar did pretty well, so there's hope,
Alright.
guys.
Yeah, good.
I have
good to
hope
hear.
that one day I'll see Coiling Dragon on a screen.
To the future.
It had an MMO.
But I heard it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
Oh well.
So, how do we read this book?
Okay, so you got to jump through your Turbo Translations.
Sure.
Go there, read
All
it.
right.
Yeah, that's like the first like 270 chapters or so.
Like 170,
And then
Oh,
you switch
170.
over
170,
to another website.
and then you switch over to Racing the Dead.
Got it.
How long would you say each chapter is like English word count?
It depends.
Okay.
Some are short, some are super duper long.
yeah.
All right.
It's one of those. It's whatever fits the moment, and usually gonna end on like some type of interesting scenario will end this chapter,
Yeah.
which makes you want to go to the next one.
Yeah, he tends to write a story beat in a chapter as opposed to a just a certain amount.
Mhm.
Nice.
As always, we're gonna put links to the translations in the description, or in case of other books where you can get them. Maybe we will put a link to where you can buy the light novel or the manga.
Yeah, definitely gonna have the link to that because check out the manga. Do not take the visuals from the manga into this because Kumo is never pink.
Never?
Kumiko is never pink.
Never?
She's not pink or cute.
Yeah, no.
She's a monster.
I'm almost
Maybe
positive.
she is pink and she just can't see herself. Like she's
Yeah.
got like weird color
Yeah.
stuff because she's a spider.
If she was pink, she'd be very dead in this place where
You
she
know,
starts
that's
out.
actually very
Well,
true.
Not only that, I think it's just like the mangas of like, hey, this is Kumiko. She's not a regular spider like the other one.
No,
She's...
the whole cave is pink.
Oh. Oh well, I can't help you there.
Problem created.
But yeah, no, seriously, go check it out. It is entertainingly written, and has some really cool premises and twists. So
Good stuff.
Yeah, sorry I took over this. I'm the only person who really read this one.
yeah,
So if you don't like Richard episodes, sorry.
Skip
well,
this.
too
one.
bad.
Oh man, you already listened to it. We tricked you.
Yeah, no, I
It's
think you
all
should
right.
like put
Just-
that warning at the beginning, Richard.
Yeah, just take
Jeez.
this like last 20 seconds and edit that to the beginning.
No.
Like at the beginning part where you normally say, "Warning: this episode may contain spoilers." Warning: this episode may contain spoilers, and like 80% Richard.
Yeah.
Everyone
Well,
knows they love it.
What's the next episode?
I think the next-
Legendary Moonlight Sculptor.
yeah, man, LMS. That's gonna be a good one.
Oh, LMS.
So that's back to Korean.
Yeah, it was actually Korean, and also one of the first translated novels I started reading. It was that
Literally
and Coiling Dragon at like pretty much the same time.
first one I started reading. I then read Coiling Dragon after it, and I never continued on LMS.
It's a shame.
LMS is like
great.
a great ride, but it also feels like one that you can just kind of pick up and put down, and then like come back to and enjoy in a book or two, and then
Yes.
Well, learn more about how we feel about Legendary Moonlight Sculptor in the next episode of this really cool podcast that we do called Treading the Path of Heaven. Oh no, it's called Reading the Path of Heaven. Oh no, it's called Treading the Path of the Heavens. Fuck, I have fucked this up so bad, you guys.
Oh, well,
Put this in the blooper reel.
take one of those, like it on iTunes, leave us a review, send us some mail at
Tiger.rollercoaster at gmail.com.
yeah,
That's a fun one.
Just like put the envelope up to the computer and say the magic phrase, magic computer, please send this mail. I'm sure it'll work.
we'll pick that up.
We, of course, are always
you'd be
taking-
surprised what gets back to us.
We're always taking suggestions for what we should read next. So if you guys have anything, you could maybe even tweet us at Tiger Coaster, because that is our Twitter.
But yeah, we'll throw up some links to our Twitter and our email account in the show notes as well.
Absolutely.
But thanks so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.
Whoop, whoop.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Tiger.rollercoaster Productions. Tigers are scary. You try to get off.